Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. Matt here with Christy and Alonso. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, and boy, did they have an epic time. Christy, will you please tell us about this?
I'd be happy to, because I'm wearing my most festive culottes today. You can't see them, but I'm party from here down. It's a party down there. So Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo, longtime best friends and collaborators, they co-wrote Bridesmaids, which earned them an Academy Award nomination, and they are back together, co-starring and co-writing Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. Annie Mumolo is Barb, Kristen Wiig is Star. They are best friends who live in small town Nebraska. They are both singled. One is divorced, one is a widow. And they just enjoy one another's company so much. Like, their friendship is just infectious, and they just love being together, and they're on the same wavelength all the time. And then they get the idea that they've never been out of their small town, out of their little bubble of safety in kitschy Midwestern Nebraska. And so they go to this place that seems like the most exotic and most luxurious destination ever, Vista Del Mar, the fictional resort town of Vista Del Mar, Florida, where they're just wowed by everything. Like, oh gosh, look at the banana boat, and look at these bracelets with little shells on them.
Seashells.
Oh my God. And they're just like everything. They're so innocent, and everything is so exciting, and they're just so like wide-eyed and optimistic about everything. But what they don't realize is that they have found themselves in the middle of a terror plot. They meet up with a handsome gentleman played by Jamie Dornan, who is there at the behest of this evil villain, this like Austin Powers style, comically over the top villain, also played by Kristen Wiig. And what she wants to do to the town of Vista Del Mar is totally stupid and not really consequential, but Jamie Dornan's there at her behest, but he also gets like sucked into Barb and Star and their excitement. And this movie is insane. And I laughed the whole way through. I was cackling. I was sitting at this table cackling, watching this movie on my laptop. Nick's in his room. He comes out of his room. He's like, "What are you watching?" Because there's so much I want to tell you, and yet I don't want to give away. But there is a sequence. There's a musical number. I was physically crying. It's so
the first
good.
one or the second one?
And the one on the beach.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And it's on its own completely specific absurdist wavelength. And at first I was like, they're making fun of tacky Midwestern people, and that's low-hanging fruit. But there's such affection for these women, and there's such specificity to the language and to their lives, and there's such a genuine kindness about the way that they treat each other and the world that you can't help but also fall in love with them too. And so that's where I feel like they're not making fun, because it would have been easy to like punch down and make fun of them.
Exactly. For the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like, what are we doing? Why is this supposed to be funny? Why are they mocking these characters? But then once I just kind of went to this place like, oh, okay, none of this is taking place on Earth.
Yeah.
This is just so on its own wacko wavelength. It's so absurdist that I was like, okay, I got it. And ultimately, yeah, you do realize they do love these characters, and they want these characters to win, you know, and you want them to win. But if you're feeling it, like, this is so the kind of movie that is going to be like, I mean, all comedy is subjective, all art is subjective, but boy, howdy, you are either on board for this or you are not. Like, I've always thought that Pop Star had some funny things in it, but doesn't hold together. But a lot of people love that movie, and they get on whatever that wavelength is, and they go with it all the way. And I was that way for this movie. Like, if you don't like it and you don't think it's funny, I get it, and that's fine. But boy, if this is your cup of tea, it will be a big mug of tea.
Although I'm surprised at how well it's doing, because as I was watching it in the solitude of my dining room here, I'm like, oh, people are going to either love this or hate it. And it's at like 83%. I'm shocked at how well it's doing.
But the thing is, but the bad reviews are bad. They are not like mixed.
So this movie feels like it goes in the same category as, or these characters I would put on the shelf right next to Bill and Ted, and maybe even Romy and Michelle, right? Like, this is a movie about two maybe not particularly smart, but certainly innocent and loving friends that friendship and that attitude changes the world. And and look, like, it's a fairy tale, but the world that this movie takes place in is absolutely the same world, I believe, that Bill and Ted live in and Romy and Michelle live in. I love this movie. I'm also a big fan of when somebody takes kind of a silly idea and swings for the fences. And that's what Bill and Ted does. And that's what this movie does. Like, I think it's smart that they take these two characters and put the whole plot with like the whole evil, Dr. Evil type thing going on, because I think that just the two of them tootling around this resort town would have gotten old, right? But adding this, like, raising the stakes to this level brings in,
while never taking it too seriously.
Well, never taking, forces an absurdism that works. And I just want to also mention that, like, boy, I thought Jamie Dornan comes awfully close to stealing this movie.
Wow,
right?
He's good in this.
I thought that Chris Hemsworth was being the ultimate himbo in Ghostbusters, but Dornan might have taken that title. I thought this movie's hilarious.
Who knew he had like comedy in him?
Oh my God, he's so good.
I didn't mind Wild Mountain Thyme as much as most people, but he's a lot funnier in this, and he absolutely understands what he's called upon to do here, because he could have like made it too smirky or too dour, but he threads that needle and just gets exactly to the point where it's supposed to be. I was thinking that this is like the ideal version of one of those comedies based on a 90s comedy cable show. Remember, there was like the Mr. Show movie and the Kids in the Hall movie and the like the Strangers with Candy, I guess that's in the Ooze, and they didn't really quite work. And you're right, they don't hold up for 90 minutes, but like this is that same level of like, we're gonna shoot the works here, and none of this has to make sense, and none of this has to be set in a concrete reality, but it's going to be in the reality that we create, that these characters create for themselves, in the way that Bill and Ted and Romy and Michelle do.
I want to mention also the casting of Jamie Dornan is so clever, because you can imagine these women would view Christian Grey as like a really exciting, sexy, idealized version of a man. So to have that persona like turned on its head is a blast. Also, I want to give a shout out to the costume designer, Tracy Gigi Field, because again, it would have been so easy to make fun of like the tacky wardrobe that they have, but it's so over the top that there's like a joy to it, and like a pastel kind of vomit that is hilarious. And,
there's the production designer, like, this is such a resort fantasia, all of the teals and pinks and the corals and the all the fruity drinks are like just gigantic and extra blue.
That sequence with the giant drink. I will say there was a little bit where they're like, no, this is fancy. It's Tommy Bahama head to toe. I was a little like, hey.
Yeah, like their idea of a compliment is like, you could be a model for Chico's.
And again, you could be, it's kind of making fun of Chico's.
For Kirkland. Like, you could be a Kirkland model.
I got my Kirkland sparkling water. I like it. We should mention Josh Greenbaum directed this. I think is it maybe his feature debut?
His narrative feature debut. He's done documentaries. He did the one about the Dana Carvey show for Hulu, and one other one I forget. But yeah, this is his first non-doc feature.
Anyway, it kind of loses its way for me a bit when it becomes more about the terror plot, and they don't really know what to do with Damon Wayans, because he kind of also shows up as like another spy. Hilarious. Did you?
I did. I didn't laugh at every joke, but I was always interested to see what they were going to throw at us next, because everything was coming from such weird angles.
And things from the beginning, like weird little details from the beginning, like tie up nicely at the end.
Right. Yeah. They do great callbacks, and even just in its like, they're even willing to like throw jokes at you that aren't particularly verbal. Like, I don't want to give it away, but the scene where the three of them are just kind of like,
oh yes,
right, all in like different rhythms, and I just kept thinking like, God, how do you make that happen? That is hilarious.
That's choreography.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm saying 8. I had a really good time, and maybe I'll say 8. I'll say 8.3. 8.3 is my number.
I said 8.8. I don't. Maybe it's the pandemic talking, but I had a great time.
I'm sorry. You know what? I was looking at the wrong column. I actually say 9. I say 9.
Oh, okay.
9, and then you say 8.8 to this. Yes,
correct.
Okay. I was looking in the wrong place. I apologize.
What did I say? I don't remember.
You said 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. I'll stand by that. This is
good.
This is so much funnier and so much goofier, and like you never know where it's going, and it's a delight. It's a revelation.
Yep, 9.1's our number. So if it looks stupid and you think you don't want to watch Barb and Star, you absolutely do.
Oh, it is stupid. It's stupid with 2 O's in the best possible way. Stupid.
Indeed. It's fully aware of its own thing. So thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. I bet Barb and Star would be watching Bridgerton, so we're talking about that. And also
would they?
All right, thanks you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.